In order to dream for the future, we must understand the past. For the Fairmount Waterworks and Park, located on the banks of the Schuylkill River, many dedicated volunteers helped ensure its existence. Susan Myers was one of those key individuals whose vision shaped our enjoyment of the waterworks today. To locals of the Philadelphia area in the present, the grounds of the waterworks provides leisure, serenity, and gourmet dining. However, this was not always the case.
When you're going to talk about water, well, everyone knows about water. Well, they really don't.
Lying abandoned for decades, the Fairmount Waterworks fell into ruin. It was only until the 1970s when Susan Myers, an advocate for historic preservations, would undertake this ambitious project. In the early 1970s, Susan and George were driving along the Schuylkill Expressway when she asked, "What are those buildings?" As rust stains began to form along the sides of the Fairmount Waterworks windows, Susan noticed that the buildings looked like they were crying out to her. This initial attraction would begin a 30-year-long commitment to the restoration of the waterworks.
She was a wonderful woman, and these are the kind of people we need to move things along in this city.
In 1974, Susan received backing from the Fairmount Park Commission and the Philadelphia Waterworks, and by 1976, the Fairmount Waterworks was added to the National Register of Historic Places. While success seemed to be well on its way, money was still an issue. In 1980, Susan held a fundraiser called the Galaxy of Trees, in which local craftsmen would create and donate trees and holiday decorations, which would then be sold to the general public. The proceeds would benefit the restoration of the waterworks, and this tradition would continue for over 20 years. 2 years later, in 1982, the Junior League of Philadelphia would donate $42,000, and 5 years later, in 1987, an additional $75,000 was given in honor of the Junior League's 75th anniversary.
She was truly attracted to the beauty of it. We really need a place that's going to be attractive and sexy even to bring the public in.
Early day in the 1980s, Susan gave executives from a charitable foundation a tour of the Fairmount Waterworks and gave them tomato soup and pretzels. The group gave her $1.9 million. Susan Myers said, "I always wondered what the grant might have been if I brought along lobster bisque." About $23 million was raised over a course of a decade. Needless to say, Susan's efforts to restore the Fairmount Waterworks eventually proved to be successful. In April of 1987, the city of Philadelphia and former mayor Wilson Good recognized Susan's contributions with a formal ceremony at the convention center.
A Philadelphia shop at the airport. She walked in and they had 4 placemats, those plastic, inexpensive plastic placemat with pictures, and one was the Fairmount Waterworks. She had George buy that, and she took it with her everywhere when she talked about the waterworks. In fact, there's a wonderful picture of Susan. She didn't hold the award. She held her place setting of the waterworks, while other representatives held the 3 awards.
Although Susan passed away in 2009, her presence is still felt inside the Fairmount Waterworks. As we look towards the future of Fairmount Waterworks, let's remember that its existence was dependent on the volunteers with a vision like Susan Myers, whose dream had become a vibrant reality.